Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff I Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio.
And for this Monday Mini, we are dating this one because when it comes to reproductive rights in the U.S. right now, it is ever-changing. So today, it is October 9th, 2025, and it's being released on the following Monday. So changes may have happened between this recording to it being released to when you actually listen to it. There's many things happening. So content warning, abortion, reproductive rights, and mention of rape. All right, so we're talking about what is happening in South Carolina in regards to reproductive rights and why we are even more concerned than usual. I mean, we are in a constant state of concern, but, still. So as of today, South Carolina has presented Senate Bill 323, which would bring one of the harshest, most restrictive abortion bans in the country. Surprise, it gets worse, I know. And in fact, abortion could be qualified as a homicide for people who are pregnant or who are accused and convicted of abortion. Also to note, they are using the title Unborn Child Protection Act. Yes, the terminology is a ploy to trick the pro-birthers and anybody else on the fence into believing they are doing something moral and righteous. This is a tactic we've known for a long time. So about the bill was first introduced in February of 2025 by Representative Cash, I believe was his name, and was just brought forward on October 1st of this year for discussion. During the hearing and discussion, they listened to 8 hours of testimony with around 80 people arguing about the bill, but no vote was cast at the time. And the bill is currently active and still under consideration. The committee ended the session saying the bill needs to be worked on a bit more before the vote is made. So you should note, many of the pro-reproductive rights people have said that people that wanted to testify were not allowed to. They were not allowed to speak, and they cut it off before it should have ended. Essentially, they're like 8 hours was not enough. I agree with this life-changing type of bill. But hey, So, what is the current abortion policy in South Carolina? Currently, it's legal, but very restricted, much like Georgia. Again, South Carolina actually has one of the most restrictive abortion bans and laws in place, much like Georgia, by the way, and many other places. From neurologyadvisor.com, they write, South Carolina's abortion legislation as it stands today considers the termination of a pregnancy illegal after a fetal heartbeat is detected, oftentimes occurring before the pregnancy becomes known at around 6 weeks of gestation. State Governor Henry McMaster signed the Fetal Heartbeat and Protection from Abortion Act into law on May 23, 2023. South Carolina is among the 18 states that uphold some of the most restrictive abortion laws, either as bans within the first 18 weeks of pregnancy or complete bans. The state allows abortions post-heartbeat detection in certain cases, including rape or incest. However, the gestational age must be under 13 weeks, and the performing physician is required to report the crime to law enforcement within 24 hours of the procedure. We talked about it before. This is really bad. We know we can't trust law enforcement, and women are not believed when it comes to rape cases. Neither are young girls. And they really don't care. So, with all of that, what does the new bill do? And there's many a listing, so I took from several different sites. And if y'all need them, I got them on our outline, and we can send it to y'all. But number one, it wouldn't allow for exceptions outside of severe medical emergency during time of pregnancy. And though most people who have been following the laws and policies since the overturning of Roe v. Wade know this, I want to mention, we have seen medical professionals not following through even for that, allowing for the deaths of women for the sake of a fetus, even making them incubators after death. By the way, if you're wondering about what happened in the state of Georgia with that one case, the baby's in NICU, barely surviving. I'm going to put that there. Number two, it allows for charging people who have an abortion with a felony for, quote, the homicide of a person born alive. which we have already seen happen for those in cases of miscarriages. They've accused women of causing purposeful abortion when a lot of the times it's a miscarriage. 3, they are criminalizing anyone who transports minors out of state for abortion care. Also, it's outlawing the giving of information via phone or website. So if someone has information, any of those, that can be against the law and you can be charged for sharing said information. This also includes doctors and healthcare professionals, FYI. It restricts access to birth control and IVF, which they were like, no, absolutely not. It won't matter. They lied. It outlaws medication used for abortion and in some cases classifies these drugs like mifepristone and misoprostol as controlled substance and can be controlled. And that is on purpose. That is on purpose. That is on purpose, even though they shouldn't be. And of course, propaganda videos titled Meet Baby Olivia, there's this one's already created and produced, would be required to be shown in public schools. Also, it allows for family members to sue everyone or anyone who they consider to have aided or abetted the abortion. So you're in a domestic violence relationships and you get pregnant and you don't want to because he raped you, but hey, you can't have an abortion, but you do, so he sues you and everyone else that he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's pretty obvious for anyone who believes in pro-choice why this law is scary as hell, or this policy. But even pro-life and birthers are against this as well, like many of them are. So from the South Carolina Gazette, their own news source, they say this, quote, pro-lifers understand better than anyone else the desire to punish the purveyors of abortion who act callously and without regard to the dignity of human life. Lisa Van Riper, president of South Carolina Citizens for Life, said in a statement. But turning women who have abortions into criminals, as the bill does, is not the way. That group, which has worked to get anti-abortion laws passed at the State House since 1990, also cited the bill's provision that forces volunteers and workers at faith-based pregnancy crisis centers to testify against the women they help who go through with an abortion. That creates a chilling effect on the center's life-saving work, including on pastors, the group said in a release. The Palmetto Family Alliance agreed in a similar message. For these reasons, we are unable to support this bill as proposed, Steve Pettit, the group's president, said in a statement. But yeah, so even the pro-life, pro-birth group are really not okay with this. They're very scared about this as well, because and rightly so, everyone can be wrapped up into this kind of conversation. Who's suing who's going after whom, who's, all of these things. And yes, this goes beyond the South Carolina borders. This is a test. If they are allowed to pass any part of this bill, we know that the extreme states like Georgia or any of the other 18 that we previously mentioned will follow this example as quickly as possible, allowing for the persecution of people who can get pregnant, propaganda to push the pro-birth narrative, persecution of people who would support people who are pregnant and need care, and the usage of pregnant people's bodies against their will is beyond scary. Again, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but this just needs to be said. So, here are some things South Carolina Women's Rights and Empowerment Network asks people to do, especially if you're in South Carolina and we're with you. Contact your legislators. We know it doesn't always seem effective, but the more voices they hear, the less they can ignore. Share your story if you can. Again, we know that there are things that you are not ready to do. Some people may have other experiences or feel like they are going to be persecuted or are judged. We understand that. But if you're willing to, these stories are so important. For those who, again, many of the stories that I hear are those that have a planned pregnancy that goes wrong. And then they are caught up in this and their life may be at risk. I've heard actual men talking about how they are scared to lose their wives because of these laws. They have to choose. This level of conversation makes it seem as if they are murderers. And it does. It accuses them of murderers. Again, fetus is different from babies. That needs to be clarified. And this language is so dangerous in so many damn ways because we also have the right. If IVF is something that they choose, that is a choice that also pro-choicers are absolutely in favor of. You do you responsibly. Also, make sure to keep an eye on what they're doing. And we're talking about the government, the Congress, legislations. We know legislators love to work in secret. Don't let them. Don't let them. I will say, as a person in Georgia with friends and family in South Carolina, I think I did donate to something because I've been getting lots of emails and alerts about what's happening in South Carolina. I know nationally, a lot of reproductive justice groups have been watching what's happening because this, again, will set a precedent about things to come. As of today, they have not set a date to reconvene about this bill. But many of the organizations, like the one I just talked about, the South Carolina Women's Rights and Empowerment Network, are watching closely and making sure to know and being updated about these types of bills and conversations. So you would be really good. Go ahead and follow them, lock in, get the newsletter. We will also try to keep up as much as possible. I know because of podcasting and not necessarily live shows, it's going to be like, oh, this was 3 years ago. Oh my God, I hope we have better news 3 years from now. But for those of you who are currently listening, as we are waiting to see what happens, please, please, please keep your eyes on them. We need to know what's going down. There's so many events happening, but this is very important for the entirety of the country and for anybody with a uterus. Like, this is so important. It should be important to everyone because, again, you know and love a person with a uterus. I hope.
Yeah. Oh, I hope so. Well, also, it could still impact. You could just be going about your day and someone is like, hey, I'm suing you for this. And you might not have any involvement. And it may be as simple
as you just put up a post that says, birth control offered here.
Yep. Yeah. So it impacts everybody, for sure. Well, listeners, if you have any resources, if you're in South Carolina and can share some stories about what's going on, we always love hearing from you all. You can email us at hello@stuffInevertoldyou.com. You can find us on Blue Sky Mom Stuff Podcast or on Instagram and TikTok at Stuff I've Never Told You. We're also on YouTube, but we have some new merchandise at Cotton Bureau, and we have a book to get wherever you get your books. Thanks as always to our super producer Christina, our executive producer Maya, and our contributor Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff Never Told You is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.